everyone, my name is Jennifer, and today I'm going to teach you how to stop junk mail, but not any junk mail, a massive junk mail problem. I specialize in stopping junk mail that comes from charities. As an example, you'll send a $20 check off to a charity, and then pretty soon you're put on their mailing list, and then they sell that mailing list to other charities, and your mailbox is exploded with junk mail. So in 2014, I had a relative who was getting an unbelievable amount of junk mail. I'm going to show photos of it. She was getting 130 pieces a week. That's this. This is 130 pieces of junk mail. She would get this in 1 week. So I'm going to show you how I stopped that. The goal of this project is to receive 0 junk mail. Unfortunately, 0 is almost impossible. I'm looking at you, Save, and your grocery coupons. All the links for everything I'm talking about today will be linked below in the description box, and if you're reading this on my blog, all of the links are directly below the embedded video. If you are doing this for a parent or another relative, I'm going to assume that you have their permission or you have a power of attorney over their affairs. In order for this project to work, you must stop interacting with the mail. That includes sending in donations, sending in surveys, cashing checks that you find in junk mail, or any other interactive games they like to put in the mail pieces. Before you start your junk mail stopping project, I recommend that you dedicate an email to this project. It can be an old email, it can be a fresh email that you set up just for this project. You want to keep the emails for this completely separate from your regular emails. It's going to get ugly. I like to use Gmail, but you may use any email service that you prefer. What you do with that email is you set up an account with the Postal Service for USPS Form delivery. And in theory, they will send you photos every day of the junk mail you receive. This is extremely helpful if you don't have direct daily access to a person's mailbox, because you'll see a photo and you can ask the person who's sending junk mail to stop just based on the photo. You're going to need to keep notes on everything you do. I've seen massive spreadsheets that have names, addresses, phone numbers, times they've called people. All of these notes that you take while stopping junk mail are going to come in handy at the very end of my process when you file complaints. No matter what kind of junk mail you want to stop, the first steps are the same for everybody. First, you want to put up a wall around your mailbox so that no new junk mail gets in. For these first few steps, we won't be touching any physical mail. And these are all going to be very broad strokes that stop a lot of junk mail. These are the top 3 things you can do to stop junk mail. These 3 things, everybody in America should do them right now. DMA Choice, directmail.com's Do Not Mail list, and Opt-out PreeScreen. Everyone should do them. You can also use PaperKarma and Catalog Choice to sweep up the rest. DMA Choice is the official Do Not Mail list from the Association of National Advertisers Data and Marketing Division. It will cost $2 to sign up for DMA Choice. It's supposed to last you for 10 years. They will stop direct mail from people you have never exchanged money with, either by giving them a donation or buying a product. When you log into your account, you can add up to 5 names and 5 addresses. If you're a normal person with normal junk mail, you would enter all of the members of your household. If you live in an apartment building or if you have roommates, enter all of your roommates. And you can also enter in past tenants and stop their old junk mail as well. If you're like me and you had a person with an out-of-control junk mail problem, you'll use all 5 slots for variations on their name. At one point, I was dealing with 6 different variations of one person's name. There is a section for caregivers that's free, but you can only enter 1 name and 1 address at a time. There's also a section to register a deceased person who's receiving junk mail. That's also free. So many people are very hesitant to do this very first step because they don't know if the DMA is legit, or they think it's a scam and the $2 is stupid, and I completely agree with you. But sign up, give them the $2 now, because the DMA is going to show up again at the very end of my process when we start filing complaints. Okay, directmail.com's Do Not Mail list. Directmail.com is a direct mail marketing firm, and they have their own independent Do Not Mail list. It is free, but it only has one name and address. I would consider this to be a Part B to the DMA Choice. Opt-out PreeScreen is the system the credit card bureaus have set up to stop credit card offers that come in the mail. This one is very important because credit card offers stolen from your mailbox are a gateway to identity theft. You have two choices. You can opt out for 5 years online, or if you mail in a form, you can opt out forever. They're going to ask for your social security number. This is one of the few times it's okay to give it out. Okay. So honestly, every person in America should do those 3 things right now, and that will cut down most of the junk mail that most people receive. And again, PaperKarma and Catalog Choice to sweep up the rest. Catalog Choice and PaperKarma. Catalog Choice is a free junk mail stopping service. It's very easy to use. Type in the search bar the mail you want to stop, enter the information on the mail piece, and hit send. It works best on big mainstream catalogs and charities. They're a charity themselves. If you like Catalog Choice, toss a couple bucks their way and help them out. PaperKarma is an app with a paid subscription. I have an affiliate link and a discount code linked below in the description box. You can enter your information and take a photo of the mail piece you want to stop. It also works best on big mainstream charities and catalogs. But because of the machine learning it does, it can also stop some of the more colorful charities you may run across. That takes care of most of America. If you do that for about 6 months, most of your junk mail will stop. But you aren't here for that. You're here because your loved one is receiving 100 plus pieces of junk mail in a week. Let's go on to big data. So this is where I start to go off the deep end of big data. I'm talking about data brokers and robots attacking you and selling your information. A junk mail problem is big data taking your information and weaponizing it to attack you. Every purchase you make, every charity you donate to, is fed into a machine, and out comes the sausage of junk mail. I'm in California, so I may have more rights when it comes to data and privacy. You can ask your bank to not sell your personal information. I'm talking about more than just your name and address. They sell your purchasing data to data brokers, and those data brokers in turn sell it to marketers who send you junk mail. So asking your bank to not sell your information is stopping junk mail before it starts. I've linked the privacy pages of the top 4 banks in America: Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, and Citibank. And if you don't use one of those top 4 banks, that's okay. Go to your bank's website and look for their privacy page and lock it down as hard as you can. You can also just call your bank's main number and use these words. You want to opt out of them selling your personal information. And if you do call your bank's main line, make sure you have all of your IDs on hand. The credit card bureaus are also selling your data. You can fill out a California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, opt-out request with each credit bureau. This does not stop junk mail for credit card offers. This stops the credit bureaus from selling your information to third parties. They're going to ask for your social security number and your date of birth. It is okay to give this information to them. This is how they identify you in their systems. Even if you don't live in California, fill these forms out and let me know what happens. Data brokers. Data brokers chop up your information into little tiny pieces and reassemble it for marketers so that they can sell things to you. In the case of direct mail, your information is extruded into mailing lists like this: charitable donors who contribute over $100. This is a real list that a direct mail marketer can buy. They can buy 1,000 names for about $85. Our goal is to get off of this list. Oh, and don't contact Nextmark. They cannot help you. When I was stopping junk mail, I actually contacted Nextmark and asked for my loved one to be removed from their system. And they asked, well, what mailing list is she on? And I said, she's on all of them. Take her off of all of mailing lists. And they couldn't do that. I had to know exactly which list she was on. And she was on hundreds, so it was impossible for me to know exactly which list to ask her to be removed from. So here are the top data brokers you need to opt out of: Epsilon, LexisNexis, DataAxle, and Alliant. To drill it down for charity junk mail, I'm going to include InfoCision right here. They're a huge telemarketing and junk mail juggernaut. I'm going to link to a blog post I made years ago that has a partial client list of theirs. If you were on 3 or more of their clients' mailing lists, contact InfoCision today and ask them to stop junk mail for you. All right, you can sign up for everything: DMA Choice, Opt-out PreeScreen, all the data brokers. You can sign up for all of them in a day. You need to wait 90 days for all of that to take effect. While you're waiting, every week you should be entering every mail piece into PaperKarma or Catalog Choice. Let the automated systems of Catalog Choice and PaperKarma do all the heavy lifting for you right now. You don't want to waste your time contacting the good guys who are going to stop junk mail if you ask nicely with one of these apps. Start taking notes on everything you're doing, who, what, when. All of these notes are going to come into play when you file complaints at the end of the process. Envelope stuffing. This is one of the more controversial things I like to do. You take a prepaid envelope and you stuff it with other junk mail. You take the main page from the begging letter that has your information on it, and you circle your information and you write "take me off your mailing list" and then stuff it back into the envelope and mail it off to them. If you want to get creative with this task, that's fine. Just remember, no white powders, no lumpy stuff, no animals, no bodily excretions. The people in the mailroom are more likely to help you out if they're not covered in poop from your letter. It does work, but it is not the most effective thing you can do to stop junk mail. It's more therapeutic at the end of the week when you've been dealing with scammers and junk mail. After 90 days and you're still getting too much junk mail, it's time to start targeting those who are sending you the most junk mail and looking up their fundraisers for the charities, and it's also time to start filling out Form 1500s. You want to start with who's sending you the most stuff. Are they sending you multiple pieces a week, multiple pieces a day? Target them first and hard, and I'm talking phone calls and emails on the same day. If it is a charity, look up their IRS 990 tax forms, or if it's a PAC, their Federal Election Commission FEC documents, and find their fundraising company. Then you call and email that fundraising company. Start building a database of everyone who's sending you junk mail. Their name, their address, their real address, not their fake P.O. box in Maryfield, Virginia, and who their fundraisers are. I really like using Charity Navigator and ProPublica to find IRS 990s. When you have entered everyone who is sending you junk mail into a database, sort by fundraiser and be amazed at what you see. You aren't being attacked by a million charities. You're being attacked by a small group of fundraisers. Target those fundraisers next. Call them and email them with a list of charities that are sending you junk mail. And if they don't get back to you in about a week, then you start filing complaints on them. Take notes on when you contacted them and make sure you ask how long it's going to take to flush out of their system, and then go to that end, and then fast forward in your calendar and write that end date. And if you receive any mail from them after that end date, then you start filing complaints on them. Just slowly start working through that list and always concentrate on who's ever sending you the most stuff. And that's going to change once you start knocking them down. USPS Prohibitory Order Form 1500. Form 1500 became one of my best friends during my junk mail stopping project. It is the ultimate banhammer for stopping junk mail. Form 1500 was originally made to stop unwanted pornography coming through the mail. After a lawsuit in the 70s, the rules changed for what qualified. Now it can be used for stopping any mail piece that is selling you something and sweepstakes. It does not work on charities, and it does not work on international mail. If the mail piece you send in qualifies, they have to stop sending you junk mail in 30 days. For commercial junk mail, try using Catalog Choice or PaperKarma to stop them first. And when that doesn't work, then you start filling out Form 1500s. I was in a 911 junk mail emergency situation, and I needed everything to stop as quickly as possible, so I got very aggressive with using Form 1500. I didn't have time to wait for her to flush out of the system of every scammed sweepstakes, every woo-woo pill catalog she was getting. I needed it to stop pronto. I wound up sending over 100 Form 1500s. It is a great tool to stop a very specific type of mail. 3 more months have passed. You have been entering every mail piece into Catalog Choice and PaperKarma. You have contacted the biggest troublemakers who are sending you junk mail, but there are still groups that are sending you mail even after you have contacted them and you've contacted their fundraiser. This is where the fun starts. It's time to circle back to the DMA. Do you remember them? You sent them $2 all those months ago. It is time to put those $2 to work. You're going to contact the ethics committee, DMA Choice, directmail.com, data brokers, Catalog Choice, PaperKarma, phone calls, emails, contacting their fundraiser. Lay it all out. Tell the DMA the complete timeline of all of the things that you have done. Talk about the content of the begging letters. Talk about the lies they've been telling your relatives to suck money out of them. Whoever you're writing about, whoever you're filing the complaint about, they're going to get a copy of your letter. If it doesn't stop, you file another complaint. You should also send this same letter to the FTC, your state's attorney general, and the attorney general of where the charity is based. None of this will actually stop junk mail, but it will start a paper trail in case anyone is actually interested in shutting these people down. I am a firm believer that if a group doesn't take the time to get you off their mailing list, they are up to other shady things. If the group that won't stop sending you junk mail is a political action committee, file a complaint with the FBI. The FBI is actively looking for scam packs that use their money for telemarketing and junk mail, but don't actually send money to candidates. I'll link below to the press release from the FBI. So that is what I did to stop junk mail. It took me over a year to do all of that. And in the middle of the project, the person whose junk mail I was stopping, she passed away, which changed everything, but that's a story for another day. I think you can stop junk mail faster than I did. Most of my time is actually spent documenting the junk mail, writing the blog, and trying to figure out this path to stop junk mail. If I hadn't had to do all of that, I could have stopped it so much faster. Oh, and by the way, I still get junk mail for her. She's so deep in the system, I can't get her out. This particular mail, she died in 2015, and I received this in November of 2021. This is from Feeding America. This is one of the largest charities in America. I'm going to read to you their PS. The PS is the most important part of a mail piece. We haven't heard from you lately, but I sincerely hope you will help us get food to families facing hunger. Don't delay. In these difficult times, your donation is critical to put your gift to work faster. Donate online. Anyway, hold on. Let me say that again. We haven't heard from you in a while. That's because she's been dead since 2015. The last time she donated to them was in 2011. So obviously Feeding America has a program where when it hits the 10th anniversary of you sending a donation, they send you another letter. Unfortunately, that program doesn't use DMA's deceased list to clear out people. I just want to let you know, if you're donating to Feeding America, this is what your money is. This is what your donation is spent on. Your donation is spent on sending letters to dead people. Anyway, but one letter a year is better than 20 in one day. So remember, the goal is 0. But 0 is almost impossible. If you think this entire process is stupid, I agree. Oh my God, this is so time consuming. It should not be this hard to stop junk mail. If you want to take this to the next level, contact your congressperson and your senator. Tell them your junk mail story. They need to know what charities are doing to us. Only Congress can control how much pain and junk mail and telephone calls charities can inflict upon us. So my questions for you at the end of this video are, how much junk mail do you get in a day? And who is sending you the most junk mail? Anyway, thank you for watching.